Alright guys, welcome back to another chapter. We are still in 2 Samuel, and we're going to be reading 2 Samuel chapter 9, where the header reads, David's kindness to Mephibosheth. I think I said that right. Again, these names are kind of tough for me, guys, but I'm going to do my best. We're going to go ahead and get started in 2 Samuel chapter 9. One day David asked, "Is anyone in Saul's family still alive? Anyone to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" He summoned a man named Ziba, who had been one of Saul's servants. "Are you Ziba?" the king asked. "Yes, sir, I am," Ziba replied. The king then asked him, "Is anyone still alive from Saul's family? If so, I want to show them God's kindness." Ziba replied, "Yes, one of Jonathan's sons is still alive. He is crippled in both feet." "Where is he?" the king asked. "In Lo-debar," Ziba told him, "at the home of Machir, son of Ammiel." So David sent for him and brought him from Machir's home. His name was Mephibosheth. He was Jonathan's son and Saul's grandson. When he came to David, he bowed low to the ground in deep respect. David said, "Greetings, Mephibosheth." Mephibosheth replied, "I am your servant." "Don't be afraid," David said. "I intend to show kindness to you because of my promise to your father, Jonathan. I will give you all the property that once belonged to your grandfather, Saul, and you will eat here with me at the king's table." Mephibosheth bowed respectfully and exclaimed, "Who is your servant, that you should show such kindness to a dead dog like me?" Then the king summoned Saul's servant Ziba and said, "I have given your master's grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your sons and servants are to farm the land for him to produce food for your master's household. But Mephibosheth, your master's grandson, will eat here at my table." Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Ziba replied, "Yes, my lord the king. I am your servant, and I will do all that you have commanded." And from that time on, Mephibosheth ate regularly at David's table, like one of the king's own sons. Mephibosheth had a young son named Micah. From then on, all the members of Ziba's household were Mephibosheth's servants, and Mephibosheth, who was crippled in both feet, lived in Jerusalem and ate regularly at the king's table. And that is the end of 2 Samuel chapter 9, guys. So, for me, I like that this is just an honor to a friend. I know that it's difficult to see the specific importance of this passage outside of what it's basically titled, the kindness of David. You know, it says who it's directed towards. I'm curious as to, I don't want to say obligation, but maybe the obligation that David felt to Mephibosheth. I know that even in his passing, David still held Saul in high regard as God's chosen anointed one. I also know that David had a strong relationship with Jonathan, obviously Saul's son, but was absolutely best friends with David. And to see him still honor in the passing of both men, that he would still honor the son. And I think that in that moment when it says Mephibosheth bowed low, that I do like that it reflected from David. He said, "Don't be afraid." I imagine he probably assumed the worst when he was brought before David, assuming, oh no, this is how he ends Saul's line. You know, killing him and any sons or anything that he has left. You know, ensuring that that line is dead, or that there's no one that could come for one of his descendants, or maybe still have claim on the throne because he is a descendant of Saul. So I kind of like that it had that little bit of an interaction, knowing that No, fear would be a reasonable response, especially in times to where you are a previous king's heir. You could argue heir, even though that transition from king has clearly passed, and now there's a new anointed one that is David. But for him to still honor Saul and Jonathan, really, in the memory of them, in honoring his grandson, Jonathan's son, that's extremely honorable of David. I do like that. I'm just an old school guy that enjoys the relationships he has as well. And so to honor a friend that has passed by loving on those who he left behind, that's enough for me to really enjoy this passage as short as it was. So on that note, have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 10 in 2 Samuel, where the header reads, David defeats the Ammonites. Have a good night and God bless, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.